Welcome back to another edition of the Optimized Weekly Market Recap. I'm David Ferreira, and as always for today's recap, we'll take a look at last week's activity in the markets, as well as what we're watching for in the week ahead. Stock market strength continued as we saw a strong close to the month of February, with many indices continuing to hit all-time highs. The Nasdaq was up over 1.7% on the week, the S&P up 95 basis points, the TSX finished up 65 basis points, and the Dow finished the week roughly flat, down 11 basis points. Looking at sector performance, technology and real estate were the clear winners last week, with healthcare and consumer staples being the weakest. Now, looking at the events from this past week, we saw some very exciting results on the inflation front. Core Personal Consumption Expenditure, the Fed's preferred measure of inflation, cooled to 2.8% year over year, with the trend suggesting it has room to continue cooling. This is great news, supporting the case for interest rate cuts later in the year. Consumer data is looking very healthy as January's personal and income spending report landed just where it was expected to, with the only surprise coming from a bigger lift from personal income growth. This comes on the heels of updated GDP data that showed consumer spending close out last year at an even better pace than originally thought. And we saw a slight uptick in Canadian GDP for the fourth quarter, driven by a jump in oil prices. Real GDP was up by 1% quarter end, a bit better than the 0.8% expected, and a marked improvement from third quarter results. Now for the week ahead, Wednesday will be action-packed with both the Bank of Canada and the Federal Reserve on deck. The Bank of Canada will announce its interest rate decision with the expectation that rates will go unchanged for a fifth consecutive meeting. And the U.S. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell will give his semi-annual report on monetary policy. And we'll also get a look at U.S. employment data for the month of February. And for earnings reports this week, we're watching for results from Costco, Shell, and Constellation Software. A great end to the month of February, with markets hitting fresh highs and some big events this week. As always, thank you for watching and see you soon.